amounts of transient or stray voltage through the ground through a large area of Webster County. I can't put a sign along the road because of the American Beautification Act, but they can put up windmills that were seen for 10 miles. I'd like you to have to look me in the eyes and honestly tell me you wouldn't care if your house was built in the middle of a wind farm and that wouldn't hurt your property value. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Board. My name is Robert Savage. I own a property at 420 Avenue C here in Fort Dodge. And as you probably know, the Avenue C has been under construction all summer long. And it's my understanding that since the 1st of August, the contractor has been being fined $400 a day for being overdue on completion of the project. But my concern is that I've got absolutely no use of my building this whole season due to the fact that it was under construction and overdue by a month plus. What I would like to propose to the board is that I could have my property tax forgiven or at least greatly reduced because I've got zero use of that building this whole season. I don't know when the project is going to be completed, but they're a long ways from completion at this point. Our season is such up there, we have to make our money in the summer months because it's a boat and motor repair type of thing that I rent out. And there isn't much boat and motor repair in January, February, that type of thing. So we've just lost our whole season this year. So I put that out for your consideration and hope we can do something with it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jared Freers. I got a couple things I'm just going to hand you guys really quick. So I want you to look at 2 estimates real quick, just pass them around. This one, the total, the only page I really want you to see is on page 2 and 3, the first one. And this one is just on page 3 also. These are just estimates of what it's going to cost to fix a roof that I have out in the county. I want to just explain to you what's going on real quick. That most of you remember the only snow we've had in about 20-some years this last May, how heavy that snow was, and a lot of damage across Iowa with that snow. My roof being one of those, 17 of the 35 rafters collapsed, or cracked, or broke. And I got a roof that's sagging clear in, which could give out at any second, or it could give out when the next snow hits, whatever. We had Rojan come over, and they estimated it was our roof is gigantic. It's 42 square, and with a 312 pitch, it's a pretty big roof. Rojan came out and gave an estimate of $35,000 to tear this whole thing off and to replace, because they have to fix all the rafters, everything. The insurance company came back with $9,000, and at first we didn't really understand why. But they sent me a letter stating exactly this. They said, as we have previously discussed and highlighted above, this additional coverage, and they're talking about having to follow whatever the current ordinance is or current code is. It says, as previously discussed, as highlighted above to the code, this additional coverage is triggered by the enforcement or ordinance or law. Your residence falls under Webster County's jurisdiction rather than the city of Fort Dodge jurisdiction. We're about 150 foot from the road that says you're in Fort Dodge or the one that says you're in Webster County. Webster County Zoning and Planning Department, however, does not have any IBC in effect, which is International Building Code, nor regulating nor a regulation requiring any addition of the IBC to be followed in construction. Without that requirement, the additional coverage, which is what they're talking about, the additional coverage they're talking about is bringing it up to code. The additional coverage or ordinance or law, as stated above, is not activated. Additional cost to bring your roof to current IBC code as recommended by the engineer. We had an engineer come out, paid him $1,800 to find out how to fix the roof so this doesn't happen again. He said this is the only way to fix this so it doesn't happen again. Recommended by the engineer would be an expense that you would have to bear without the assistance of United Fire and Casualty. United Fire and Casualty just happens to be an insurance company here in town with Calvert Insurance. Basically, they found a little bit of a loophole because it's affecting 3 different houses right now out in the county. And they said because the county has absolutely no regulations whatsoever on building a house out in the county. It can be built subpar, and they have to follow some electrical standards. But the house can be built completely subpar. You can fall down like 2 years later because there's nobody that comes out and enforces how a house is built once you're outside of city limits. And because of this, they will not fix my roof the way it needs to be fixed. They're trying to cut it down, obviously from $35,000 to fix it. Jensen Builders was actually like $38,000, or to piece it together and hope that it lasts for $9,000. And neither construction company, Rojon nor Jensen, will even try to attempt the job at $9,000 because Rojon's exact words were it would fail the next time a big snowstorm hits. So by not having any regulations on how to build a house out there, I got a hold of the state IBC code, or the state, Sheila gave me the number for the guy that's in charge of all the state stuff down there. He said that there's been quite a few counties that are adopting over to the state reference, having to build a code by state reference, and most of those that have passed, they have farmers, they let them. Farmers are exempt, so on their buildings, stuff like that, so that affects a lot of farmers, obviously. But any residential building, anybody that's going to be housing kids, family, anything like that, has to be built to some sort of code. This is going to start affecting a lot of people. It's just the insurance companies didn't really notice this loophole, until just recently, and it's already affected 3 houses since May. It's probably going to affect my house unless you guys take some sort of immediate action. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to rebuild. I don't want to piece together some pieces of board up on my roof and just hope that the next time it snows it doesn't cave in on me while I'm sleeping. But right now, with no laws, nothing that says the insurance company has to build it right when something breaks down, they can build it however they see fit. And the insurance adjuster gave me a great example of it the other day. He said if a tornado came and took out half my house and it only ruined 50% of it, they are only going to pay they're only going to pay to make it as good as it was, which sometimes isn't good enough if it's not up to any current codes, or there's got to be some sort of codes out in the country. This right here shouldn't happen. You pay insurance, and I pay a premium to have, I even have a sub thing on my insurance policy that states if anything ever happens, 10% of my coverage A, which happens to be $30,000, 10% of my